What's good, people? I got a couple of clips I wanted to share with y'all. It's basically Neo trying to make up for some shit that he said at George Floyd's funeral. And the thing about it is, he says something, and people try to correct him like, dude, this is not what it is that you're saying it is. And instead of just saying that he was wrong about it or admitting that he didn't mean it in that light, he tried to say people try to spin his word. But I want you to listen exactly to what the hell he said and form your own opinion. Then I'm going to go into the little cleanup of what he tried to do around it and show you how I feel like he just dug himself in a deeper asshole. And to me, it just really shows you the mindset. Like, if he did not know what the fuck he said, something is really wrong with this man as a grown adult. You feel me? But let me go ahead and play this clip for you.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Much love and strength to the family of George Floyd. Much love and strength to the family members that are here, of anybody that's been lost. 50 states all protesting at the same time. This man changed the world for the better. So I just want to personally thank George Floyd for his sacrifice so that my kids can be all right later on. I appreciate the sacrifice, my brother. I genuinely do. So.
Okay. I mean, yo, like, does this man not know what sacrifice means? See, and that's why, like, I say in today's time, we do make light of certain words. Because certain people say, I sacrifice my time, I sacrifice, you know what I'm saying, things that I could be doing to enjoy myself to do certain other things. And I think we lose essence of that word because when you look at the word sacrifice, the definition for sacrifice, the first two always involve in slaughtering an animal or a person to a god or a deity. No matter how you look at it, that's what the word sacrifice means. And not only am I saying that, but Neo was saying that. Because when he went back and cleaned it up, that's the fucking example that he used. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna show you the cleanup he tried to do with Kelly Clarkson. That's a bad little pick. I didn't do that shit on purpose of her, but she's trying to like help him clean this shit up and make it look like it's not what we're actually hearing. But believe me, what you heard is what the fuck he said it is. But let me go into this clip so he can try to clean this up for himself.
Vowed to never do again because this is a very hard thing to do. I've sang at a few funerals in my life, and it's just. Ooh. The hardest scenario ever. If you
I can imagine it would be.
It doesn't matter because you're seeing other people's pain regardless, and it's just painful.
She's setting them up. She's, you know, they be alley-ooping each other all the time, yo.
I believe that the family reached out. I got the information from my manager, so I didn't speak directly to the family, but I believe they reached out and asked if I would sing, and I mean, of
you
course,
believe
said,
that? Yeah. You know whether or not. He knows whether or not if that family looked out, you know, reached out to him to have him sing. So it's no I believe. You know for sure. And I'm pretty sure his family, that George Floyd family didn't look and say, oh, let's have Neo sing. Come on, man. Get the fuck out of here, yo.
I tried to sit a little further back, you know, because I didn't want the moment to be about me at all. You know what I mean? Like I didn't want to do the celebrity thing. I didn't want. But they saw me, they pulled me up to a closer pew, and I'm like, all right, cool. So I'm sitting there, and I get up on stage, and the second I got up there, I look in the audience, and his daughter's sitting right in front. And then all I could see in that moment was my daughter, and it broke. I broke. I couldn't. It's
the hardest thing to do.
I couldn't get my words together with what I wanted to say.
Yeah, okay.
That came out wrong.
Now go ahead and explain to everybody what you meant about the word sacrifice.
Too, is I feel like I heard there was a bit of blowback from the funeral. Did that hit you hard, like to where you were like, wait, that was totally missed. That was twisted.
You know what? Initially, I won't lie. Initially, it did because I'll be honest. When my manager called me and told me about what was being said or whatever, and I instantly got upset. Like what? Like how could anybody really think that I would stand up at this man's funeral in front of this man's family and mean anything negative or wrong about? Like how could anybody?
See, this is the point. This motherfucker is saying that nobody. How can somebody think that he said something negative? Nobody said he said something negative. We saying he said sacrifice. Does he know what sacrifice means? Like I said before, I think he does. Now listen to what he says.
Right.
Yeah.
So I got upset, and my response was, you know what? Intelligent people know what I meant.
Intelligent people.
And anybody ignorant, I ain't worried about it. But then my manager had to catch me. He was like, no, that's not what this is. This moment is really, really, really important. Okay? The least you could do is take a few minutes to make sure that people understand what it is you're saying. Okay? Because ignorance is division. And we don't need division right now. All right? We need to do this right now.
Wow.
So take a second. Explain what it is you meant, not because anyone is owed an explanation.
So explain
but because
it.
It's the right thing to do.
What did you mean?
In order for unity to be part of the narrative.
Okay, come on, hurry up.
Not division. You know, so I took it upon myself. I went into the comments and I answered some people. Somebody said he wasn't sacrificed, he was murdered.
Exactly.
And I'm like, okay, well,
now listen to this motherfucker
a
now.
lot of sacrifices, they kind of involve death. I mean, it's unfortunate that his death was the spark that caused this energy that is slowly but surely creating change for us.
This motherfucker cannot be serious, man.
This man's life was sacrificed in order for this to happen. Now, I don't think that was...
Now, he just said this man's life was sacrificed in order for this to happen. I just showed you what the definition of sacrifice was, right? So, to what God did he sacrifice George Floyd to? And who sacrificed George Floyd? You see, this is the shit. Like, don't try to play me like I'm stupid when you're saying shit like this and you have no idea what the fuck you mean. Or do you have exactly an idea of what you mean? You know what I'm saying? You know exactly what the fuck you're talking about. But let me let this clip finish so I can play the next, because the next he goes even more into depth, in my opinion, of what the fuck he meant.
Of course, the cops killed him, and it was wicked. It was meant for wicked.
Mm-hmm.
But we then took something that was meant for wicked and turned it into a positive.
How?
No, I agree. Subscribe to my channel. Subscribe to my channel.
Yeah.
Subscribe to my channel.
No, you crazy ass. Bye. Man, this shit here is ridiculous now. But listen to this next interview. I'm going to start kind of midway, because this is that Sirius XM. But my thing that bugged me out, this was released June 21st, and it only got like 1,000 views. I'm like, Sirius XM, I mean 854 subscribers. You would think they got more than 1,000 views, but, you know, I'm going to go ahead and let this shit play.
I figured that y'all might want to talk about some of the backlash that came
from
my comments.
And this is during the... And you notice how he got the same outfit he just had on with Kelly, right? So, you know, it's the same day. So it's just like he's doing PR, man. Don't try to act like you're coming up there to promote something else when you're coming up there to clean up the shit you said. But he's not doing a good job.
And how anybody could misunderstand what I meant. It was my manager that brought to my attention that I had even received any backlash, because I don't really read comments. And like, this is where people make the decision to be ignorant. So I ain't even about.
Now, that's the part that killed me right there, because in the comment section, people do really get in and say ignorant things, man. But what people were saying to him, the majority of the people, I don't feel like that was ignorant. They were saying, hey, man, this brother was not sacrificed. He was murdered. And if he was sacrificed, who sacrificed him? Because I always felt like it was some suspicious shit. Because nobody in their right mind kneels on somebody for 8 fucking minutes. And then it's just not him. This is the thing that pisses me off about this whole George Floyd situation, because they keep focusing on Chavez, but they're not saying anything about the other 3 guys. Because if you just focus on the one fellow, that one gentleman, then it can seem like an angry moment, a moment of racism. But when you got to say all 4, no, that's a fucking conspiracy. Then you have to wonder, why did all 4 of them conspire? But they don't want to talk about it. They just want you to focus all your energy on this man Chavez. But I'm going to let that go into a later video. I'm going to let him finish for right now.
So he hit me and was like, yeah, it was a few people that you were at. Yeah, he actually told me I was trending. I was trending for saying what I said. And I instantly got upset. I was like, okay. I know that nobody really and truly believed that I would stand in front of this man's family and friends and say something and say or mean something negative. Like, I can't believe that anybody would think that I would really do that. That's one. my initial response was, you know what? Intelligent people knew what I meant. And I'm not going to.
See, this is what's killing me. Intelligent people knew what I meant. So I'm going to just let this shit go on. That shit is killing me, man. And once again, and it's real funny, in my last video, I ended with ignorance. Because in the Webster Dictionary, they do say ignorance is the lack of knowledge. But how can you be considered ignorant for not even having the knowledge of something? You know, and I use fire for example. If you don't know fire is hot, how can someone call you ignorant for touching it? Now, if they tell you that fire is hot and you touch that shit anyway, then you ignore the information or the knowledge that was given to you, then you're ignorant. You know what I'm saying? So this man right here, to me, in my opinion, I feel like Neo. I'm sorry, I feel like he's full of shit right now. I mean, I can't say this man actually sacrificed somebody. I can't go to that extreme to say it. But if you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, just admit and say, I'm sorry, I chose the wrong word. Because you can't clean this up. You know what I'm saying? There's no way you can make this mean anything other than what the fuck it means, which is sacrifice. But let him go ahead and continue, because he's going to, like I said, he's going to even more explain my side of what I'm saying in his own words.
Worry about anybody that didn't. But my manager had to check me, and I thank him for this, because he said, here's what's going on right now, okay? We're at war.
We are.
That's the reality of it. We are at war.
We really are.
We cannot leave anybody behind, okay? If you think about Jesus, when Jesus went out, he wasn't saving the saved, he was saving the unsaved. You don't educate smart people, you educate people that are ignorant. And ignorant is not an insult. Ignorant means lack of knowledge. It just means you don't know.
Don't agree with him, young lady. Don't fucking do it.
So,
yeah, he's banging right now too.
Behind. So that means that I got to take an extra second to explain to you what I meant. Then I need to take that second, because as my brother, as my sister, I cannot leave you in this state of ignorance. I can't do that. You know what I mean?
So listeners who may not know exactly what you
because she got to bring it to light, because he's not even bringing the word up.
Right.
Yeah.
So and you didn't mean it in a negative light at all.
Not at all. I didn't understand how people took it negative. I didn't understand that. It's like I didn't say that he was a willing sacrifice. I mean, normally sacrifices aren't willing. That's kind of.
Did you hear him? Did you hear this shit?
I didn't understand.
Stop nodding, dude.
He wasn't sacrificed. He was murdered. Okay, well, back in the days of a sacrificial lamb, or do they not kill the lamb?
Is it me? Is it me, or is this motherfucker actually calling George Floyd, would compare him to a fucking lamb back in the day? I don't know what fucking day he's talking about, but this is what I say about religion. This is the mindset religion gives people. You understand what I'm saying? He think this shit is okay to say this man was sacrificed like a fucking lamb. And once again, it involves the blood. Why does something have to die in order for people to live? And you think that's okay? I think it's bullshit under any system. If it was true, you had to sacrifice something. I think that's bullshit. That something has to die in order for something to live. I don't understand that. You get me? What type of system is that? I have to murder an innocent person in order for other innocent people not to be murdered? Are you fucking serious with me? I have to murder somebody, which they call a sacrifice. I have to murder someone in order for other people to not be murdered. Immoral acceptance and justifiable evil. And this is exactly what this motherfucker is saying. But let it finish it out so I can finish this video.
I didn't understand. I didn't understand what people thought I meant. You know what I mean? And the way I view it, okay, no. He didn't, of course he didn't want to die. Neither did Jesus. Jesus didn't want to get up on the cross. That was the first time he actually questioned God. Why die for you? Right? So no, I wasn't saying he was a willing sacrifice. I wasn't saying that it was a positive thing that his life was sacrificed for this cause. But let us be honest. The energy that is happening right now.
You hear this shit?
50 states.
Would not be happening if George Floyd was a sacrifice.
For Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives? Why he keep bringing up Black Lives Matter, man? You see, he's saying it like it's a corporation. He ain't talking about real Black lives. He's talking about this fucking corporation, man. It's bullshit.
George Floyd's unfortunate sacrifice.
Right.
He's still doubling down on it.
George Floyd's not the first man to be killed, not the first black man to be killed on camera.
He's absolutely not.
He wasn't the first. I can't breathe. We've used that phrase.
Now watch how you make this little ignorant ass face. Get the fuck out of here, man.
But what was different about this one? What made this one different? I don't totally know what made this one different, but I'm not questioning. I'm simply
Because it
saying
was set up and
I
orchestrated to
appreciate
get our
the
attention off one
sacrifices
thing.
this
That's
man
what made this different.
so that the future generations won't have to deal with the same issue that my great-grandfather, my grandfather, my father.
And that's why I say we need to start holding these motherfuckers accountable when they say shit like this. Because he just basically said out his own mouth, George Floyd was a sacrifice so the other generations wouldn't have to have this shit happen. And right after that, I think what's his name, Ahmaud Arbery? I can't say his name correct. Right after that, he was murdered. And then another gentleman was murdered. And then another one. And then a cop was murdered. And then another innocent child was murdered. A white woman was murdered. A black woman was murdered. People are going to be murdered. People are going to be doing this evil shit. We need to take out the race and take out all that shit for one. And just look at evil as being evil. But we also have to understand when someone says something, they are saying it for what the fuck it is. This man said George Floyd was a sacrifice. Now, instead of just canceling this man, I would say, like, damn, somebody up there need to talk to him. Like, dude, do you really believe this man was a sacrifice? What do you mean by this? This is why these celebrities, this is why we view celebrities in the light we do. Because they say shit like this and it never gets checked. You know, but that's all I had to really say about this video. If you think that I'm wrong or I'm reading too much in it, please inbox me and give me your viewpoint on it. Because I would love to hear what someone else has to say about it. But other than that, peace. Y'all be good. Have a good day. And don't forget, like, and subscribe and share.